Hello, everybody. Stuart McAdam here, and today I'm going to be talking about something which I've been resisting for a very long time, and something which is actually quite important in today's digital and technological age, and that is coding. Now, if you're like me, someone who's not very sort of coding savvy or sort of developer savvy with websites and that kind of stuff, then you kind of feel my pain and frustration. It's not something which I'm particularly passionate about. It's not an area of digital marketing that I've really wanted to learn more about or get sort of into and acquainted with. It's something which has kind of been sitting there poking away at me as a necessary evil, if you were, that I need to learn and have a basic understanding about, but have avoided. But there's been a couple of recent experiences that I've had that have kind of changed my mind about that. The first one was actually a couple of months ago when the pastor at my church asked me to build and develop a new website because the church had an old website platform, very antiquated, really needed some updating. And it was using a platform called Elementor, which is, sort of a basic drag and drop website. But fortunately, we got a great website in the end. But unfortunately, there were a few custom coding problems that I had to reach out for help on to outside sources, which was a bit of a pain and a frustration. So that was the first experience. The second one was I had a client who I was doing some MailChimp work with who did need some custom coding work. And I just didn't have the knowledge and experience necessary to develop a proper understanding as to how to put together code which could create instructions for the email platform, being MailChimp, linking up to the website and pushing the information through and creating a command. So that's kind of caused me to reconsider my attitude towards coding and start having a look at, the different options and opportunities out there. So I hopped onto YouTube yesterday. I think it's a great platform to sort of find these sorts of things. It's a great content library, and did find a very interesting video that talked about integrating your website with MailChimp using, I think it was a UTM parameter or sort of API integration or whatever it was, but it was just incredibly useful, and it gave a very simple, basic understanding. It was only a 45-minute video, so obviously to sort of go in there and do it yourself and get it right is going to take a bit of time, but it was incredibly useful from the perspective that I didn't know anything about this, even though I've been working with MailChimp for a while, even though I have now done 2 websites. It still wasn't something that I'm very familiar with, is the sort of back-end coding side of things. So it was just very useful to go in and get an education about something that I knew nothing about. And sort of coming to my point today, the reason why I think it's such an important thing for small businesses and small business owners to have an understanding about coding is that a lot of marketing activities are moving online, and you're going to meet a lot of people, and your website, you may need a website built, or you may need certain things done to your website. And if you're able to get a basic understanding behind you on the different types of coding, I think, like, to name a couple of them, you've got like CSS, or I think they call it SAS, they've got HTML, JavaScript, all these things. You can start to really plug away at the developers who you're speaking to and asking for quotes on about timelines and length and what sort of information is required from their side to put together a strategy plan for your website, whether that's upgrading it or whether that is developing custom features. If you've got an understanding about the process, even if it's just a very basic one, you can begin to sort of whittle away and understand who's got a good working knowledge of these platforms and coding types and who doesn't. And you can also understand too what sort of integrations and sort of custom features you can create for your website as well. So if you are looking at something which is sort of quite big and comprehensive, say like a full website build for an e-commerce store, you can kind of plug away, from the get-go as to what features are required, how much time it's going to take, and you can get an idea as to how much that person is likely going to be charging, because with projects on that size, it's normally done on a project price. So you can determine for yourself whether or not you think it's good value. And look, money always isn't always the end, like the sort of end reason why people make decisions to go with certain people. It's for their ability to deliver a workable solution that's long lasting and sustaining. So if you've got those coding skills, if you've got a basic understanding, I would highly recommend you sort of get into it. I can see this picking up more and more traction as time goes on. There's going to be new types of coding that will probably come out in the next 5 to 10 years. What those are, it's impossible to say, but definitely take some time to start learning the basic coding elements for websites and for other features as well, because it'll serve you well as a small business owner. It'll empower you. It'll give you knowledge that you wouldn't have had before, and you'll be very thankful as a result of it. So I hope you found this video useful and informative. It's quite a process to get to the next stage of sort of digital marketing, especially an area that you may not particularly be passionate about, like I am with coding, but it's necessary to learn things, even if you don't want to learn them sometimes, because in the long run it'll help you. So thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon for regular updates, and we'll see you in the next video.